Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X research and professional physicist. And today I'd like to bring to you another one of my articles. This one's entitled Sky Blue Planet X Inside the Earth's Atmosphere. Now, figure 1 below shows an image which I have shown many times before. What at first appears to be a break in the clouds, but when examined carefully, we can clearly see that what we are really seeing is a surface which is curved down toward the surface of the Earth, and that it is emitting blue light. And the few bits of cloud clinging to the surface also seem to cling to a surface that is curved. You can see they follow the contour of the surface, these bits of cloud here. So these bits are lower down than these bits. They're following the slope that the surface has. And it's a solid surface. We are not seeing through cloud at blue sky beyond. This is actually a surface that is emitting blue light. So the few bits of cloud clinging to the surface seem to be clinging to a surface that is curved. You can see it's curved on that side as well. It bulges downwards towards the surface, and then there is this dark cloud spout formation here, which seems to be attached to what would be the lowest point on the surface, which would make that the bottom of a solid object. And this means this cloud spout would mean that this is a Planet X system stellar core inside the Earth's atmosphere. These objects make connections with the Earth's surface through these spouts, which allows them to absorb energy from the Earth's core system and thus resume matter creation. You may look at Article 695 for more details on that. And these are the water creating stellar cores that make these connections. You can see one here making just that type of connection for each cloud spout. And after this is made, you start to hear thunder, and you look up, there seems to be lightning inside the top cloud envelope. And then rain often starts falling because these are water creating stellar cores. So here's the spout, but this one does not seem to have a spout large enough or enough material to make this type of connection. That means it won't be able to absorb energy from the Earth's core like this one can. And here you can see one of these objects in the sun's atmosphere doing exactly the same thing, making a cloud connection with the sun's surface. This is its spout cloud connection. And once they make this connection, they create more gases, so the cloud often gets larger, and they create water, leading to rain. Now, the fact that the object does not have enough material to make a spout energy absorption connection with the Earth suggests that it is a Planet X central stellar cores. The central cores will be much larger than the satellite cores which accompany them. Planet X comes as a system of planetary or star cores with one large central core and smaller satellite cores, which are energy depleted, and I have named them stellar cores. And you may look at Article 785 entitled Planet X is here, but what is it exactly, for more details. And you can see that this is, again, the same object. You can see that it's the same curved surface. You can see the cloud clinging to a surface that is sloping downwards. You can see the spout connecting to the middle of that piece of the object that is clearer of the other part of its cloud envelope, which is also quite sparse. That's why we can see part of its surface through it. And the surface, it seems to be emitting blue light. So it's obviously absorbing light emitted by the sun simulators in the atmosphere, and then it re-emits part of it, this blue part. So the stellar cores cloud envelope also seem to be at a much higher altitude than typical storm clouds, which would contain water creating stellar cores like this one here. You can see this one seems to be at a much lower altitude than this one. So this means that these larger stellar cores probably remain above the typical altitude at which airplanes fly. The blue color indicates that the object is absorbing energy in the form of red and green light photons. And this simulation cannot be attributed to a sky simulation, because then the simulation would have created a much denser cloud cover so that the object would not be seen, as the powers that be have done all they can to hide the existence of the Planet X system, to the point of creating explosions in chemical plants in order to cover up the Planet X pollution which is coming in. And you may look at Article 731 entitled Chemical Plant Fires or Purposeful Planet X Pollution Cover Up. And here we are. This looks like another hole with a cloud spout below it. The surface is not clearly as inclined as the other one. It seems to be less curved, which would indicate that this is most likely an even larger object. But the fact that it has this cloud formation below that clearing on its surface indicates that this is again another one of these objects, and this is its spout cloud envelope. And this would be where it would connect to the surface of the Earth to absorb energy. But again, it doesn't seem to have enough. This object appears to be huge. It seems to cover the whole sky, because you can see the same color being emitted from here. This here would be the sun simulator inside the atmosphere, and it's illuminating part of this cloud here. You can see that. So this is basically what we have. If the object is spherical, we would have something like this, an object poking through the Earth's atmosphere but remaining at high altitude, most likely a central stellar core. And these objects, as I said before, they're not stars, they're not planets, they are the core systems of stars and planets. And this would be a central stellar core. Without it being able to make the connection, because it doesn't have enough spout material, it can never get a large gravitational force. It cannot strongly affect the Earth, therefore it will remain gravitationally extremely weak, because they are energy depleted. That's what destroyed the planet. It was energy depletion. And of course they will never collide with the Earth, because the gravitational force is like the force that attracts protons inside the nucleus, and protons inside the nucleus also never collide with each other, because the forces between them become repulsive and infinite when they get too close to each other. The same thing happens. It's the same force. Gravity is the same as the strong force. And you can see some more examples of that. So there does seem to be, these objects do seem to come into the Earth's atmosphere now and then and create this kind of effect. This one has, again, the spout cloud connection here, but it's not even circular. It seems to be into a heart kind of shape there. And this one seems to have two spout connections, and they seem to be elliptical in shape, these two surfaces. This would be the sun simulator. So what appears to be the sun in the distance has to be a sun simulator, as I have shown in Article 723. The sun is gone, the sky is a simulation. The real sun is not in the sky, and the illumination inside the Earth's atmosphere is artificial. And these objects are reaching down into the Earth's atmosphere, but what seems to be a higher altitude than the usual cloud altitude, which is 10 kilometers or 6 miles. So these objects may get to an altitude of 20 to 50 kilometers from the surface of the Earth. That's 12 to 30 miles. They do appear to stay much higher up than the satellite cores, which then create the rain clouds. These holes in the clouds are often called punch hole cloud effects. The fact that they are visible to us suggests that the sky simulation system does not work when these large stellar cores are in the sky, and also shows why the sun simulators often appear to be inside the atmosphere and below cloud altitude. This is most likely because they simply have to be with such large objects inside the Earth's atmosphere as no light emitted by the sun simulators in orbit would be able to get to the surface of the planet. And you may look at Article 771 entitled The Artificial Sun Orbiting the Earth. So in conclusion, there are very large Planet X system stellar cores coming to the Earth and getting far inside its atmosphere. Since their surfaces are blue, indicating that they are absorbing energy by absorbing red and green light photons, they can be easily confused with empty blue sky. However, holes in the cloud envelopes with a typical cloud spout connection inside those holes indicates that we are actually looking at the surface of a Planet X stellar core. And these are the references. This is Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X physicist. Thank you.